Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we'll be reviewing episode 2 of Gundam Build Divers Chaotic Ogre. And let's start off before going anywhere. Let's talk about the opening to Gundam Build Divers because now enough of us have heard it. Now I'm sure, have figured out our opinions on it. And I, for one, don't know how I feel about it. It kind of just sounds like noise to me. I don't hate it. I don't love it. The rap is whatever, the singing is whatever, but the visuals are nice. Something about it reminds me of another show, another child-styled anime, but I can't put my finger on it. And but it just sounds so familiar. What I do know about the opening is that it is not remaining in my head. I don't catch myself singing it like I would be singing the Beyblade intro or something. So it's not up to that tier of awesome anime shonen intro. So that's how I feel about it. How do you guys see it? I think it's an okay intro. I'm looking forward to when it changes around episode 15. With that out of the way, let's talk about the episode because episode 2 was it was a bit of an interesting one. It starts out and our boys are back into the VR realm and they meet the white hair girl. Her name is Sarah and she can just sense things. She seems to be some sort of sixth sense about her. She has some she can't pilot a Gundam. We learn that she doesn't have anything with her. And due to Riku's friend's Gundam being in repair, we find out that you could also log in to GBN without having a Gundam equipped, and you can go on and do the most exciting thing in the world called fetch quests. Oh my goodness, this is definitely an isekai. This is definitely an MMO based anime. It is of that nature, and that really disinterested me quickly. So yeah, to know that you could do fetch quests in this Gundam anime is super exciting. And in any sense or any case, it's a bit more exposition that's happening during the first half of this episode. They explain force battles, which to me essentially just sound like raids in any sort of MMO. So you got to build up a team. But first before that, you got to level up and hit your rank. So it seems like you have to, do the regular MMO things, hit your level cap, join a clan, do a raid, and then you can get epic drops or or force battle exclusive drops such as weapons or paint schemes and whatnot, which again leads me to the interesting notion of what does it mean to even build the model kit when the game itself has exclusive parts and paint colorways. So it's one of those things that I just don't really, or I just haven't been sold on yet. Another thing that is explained is that to try and get the, I guess, the building side of the hobby back into the show, they do explain that the quality of your build does matter, and it just so happens that certain features are only unlocked by a better quality model kit build. So in our hero's scenario, he builds the double O diver. However, because it's not built up to, I don't know, a master level ability of model kit, he can't activate this certain feature Trans Am. I guess that's just it. I think he tries and then he fails, but where are you gonna go from there? So that's a bit of a weird one for me because now it's more like so certain special abilities are gated off due to build quality. It's just a lot of questions are coming at me, and they just seem like one of those. It's one of those uh, plot devices that really will be used, I guess, however the writers deem fit. I just hope it doesn't down the line we see this turn into, oh, he failed to do this battle because it turns out his Gundam that he built in real life does not have the proper assembly or paint to do it, or whatnot. That kind of stuff just it's still, I don't know if you can't tell, the whole VR thing is still really irking me a bit. So okay, but enough about VR because the second half of this episode is where all the action is in, and that is where we're first introduced to Hellfire Ogre, and I believe, yes, that is his name, Hellfire Ogre. He is the older brother of the horned based boy that we met in episode 1. In any case, he pilots the GNX Ogre, the big red thing, the cool looking mobile suit. And it turns out these guys have a little bit of a grudge going on with a third party or another team, and they're about to have a fight, and they go straight into it, and it's a pretty interesting scene or action scene where the ogre is pretty much tearing apart all these other base level. I want to say they were GMs or they were Jestas. I honestly I watched this episode like 2 minutes ago and I already forget because that's how forgettable they were. But in this fight, Riku and Sarah and Yuki, I believe, are somewhat caught in the crossfire. So Riku pulls out the double O diver to save or to shield his friends from danger, but this is taken as a I believe this third party recognized the double O diver as maybe the ogre's ally, and so they start attacking him. And it's a cool sequence when they do a 2-on-1 against the double O diver, and Riku pulls out his super instant reaction talent that we have seen hinted at many times, and Hellfire Ogre takes notice. He quickly disposes of the enemy militia. At the same time, the enemy militia pull out this special move called Break Decal or something. I wasn't too sure what was going on, but I'm sure it'll be explained further on. It seems to give them an incredible boost to power, speed, defense, and all the good stuff. Nevertheless, the Hellfire Ogre takes him out. From then on, Hellfire Ogre, recognizes Riku's ability and wants him to fight him because he's that guy, he's the Vegeta archetype. He's the you look good to fight, so please fight me. He's that man, and proceeds to fight. Their battle plays out very much in the same way that the battle between Tatsuya Yuki and Sei from the first season of Build Fighters plays out, where the Zaku Amazing fights the Build Strike, and it's almost like for like the way that they positioned the two mobile suits, where the Gen X Ogre is this heavy hulking machine that just doesn't seem to possess much agility, but in actuality, it is super mobile, and it is just beating on the double O diver with its twin axes, and it looks very cool to see. Riku in the double O, can't seem to be on equal footing, so before realizing he might lose, he uses Trans Am, and it gives him the edge he needs. And it seems like he might be, about to at least be on even footing with Hellfire Ogre. And then it breaks because, as was foreshadowed, if you don't build a model kit with high enough quality, you cannot use, or it's risky to use, certain special abilities that certain Gundams are supposed to have. And that's more or less where the episode ends. It was tons of exposition, the introduction of the Ogre GNX, and we learn a bit more about how building your model kit still plays a role in this virtual world. I thought overall it was a decent episode. It was kind of slow. I mean, again, we're still in the learning phase about this whole new universe, and we're still learning about more characters and what their deals are. But yeah, it seems as though the whole virtual reality world has a bigger deal in this series in terms of what they're doing in the world apart from hanging out with their Gundams and fighting. It seems like that's going to be more of an important role in learning all this small nuanced mechanics of GBN. So I'm definitely more curious to hear about that. Animation quality and fight scenes, fantastic. I mean, or at least as good as I would expect from Sunrise. I mean, it's fun to see all these things going on. I do like the sound effects. I love how in Build Fighters, and I guess even in IBO, they still use the pink puffs of smoke to illustrate action. I think that's probably been my favorite thing about Gundam Build Fighters and Gundam Build Divers is the use of color and just the signature noises that come across through all the battles. But yeah, that was fun. And then for a bit of a fun little Easter egg for the hardcore Gundam fans, at the end we were seen with Momoka, and she's doing some cosplay stuff at Gundam Base. So that was really cute to see. I always like seeing those fun little additions. But yeah, otherwise it was not really too much else to say on the episode. I don't think there's much commentary we need to say here. I mean, I think everyone who watched episode 2, it is very much a learning experience, or it's very much a learning episode. So we don't know too much about other characters yet, and yeah, it still doesn't have its teeth into me yet. I am still looking for reasons to love this show rather than wanting to just love it naturally. So yeah, I look forward to episode 3. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. and we'll catch you back here for the next one.